Why does doing a PhD, doing research, being in academia, why does it feel like a battle? And what can you do about it so that you feel like you're actually winning this battle? I want to give you a couple of stories today. And then at the end of this, come back to thinking about how you can actually win in this battle that we call the academic research game. And hopefully you feel better. My ultimate goal is to make sure that you feel better so that you live a happy and healthy life. So when I began the reciprocity project, I was maybe a year or two into it. I was really excited about this thing. I got developers. I finally built this particular thing out, and I was really excited about it. And I went to go show some people what it was about. And they gave me the old, well, that's nice. And they walked away and nothing happened. And I was really struggling with this in terms of reconciling what was going on. And what they didn't see was the fact that this was going to be something that was remarkable, that was going to change science and change the way that we understood how science and research was going to work. And they didn't see that, but I saw that. I saw that this was going to be a really big thing. And the problem is when we go about of doing things in our lives, and this is true in the academic game, it's true of anything, even in your own families, you have to go about of convincing people and thinking about how you can not convince people, but get them to be on your side. And what's really interesting is that in the last year alone, I've had like 1.5 million people watch these YouTube videos, plus many other different things. And it's taken years and years and years to get to the point where it actually has gotten to that. And how I have actually been able to connect with people is to tell my story, to be as real as possible, to let other people know that they are okay. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, 4 hours from any university, was in special ed for many years, and I struggled with university education, all of that stuff. I really struggled with it, but I have learned to deal with this and internalize a lot of different lessons. And so I want to make sure that other people, now that I'm a professor, I want to make sure that other people don't go through this. It seems like a simple lesson, but a lot of people don't see that. What they see is that you are some random person. They don't know who you are. They don't have good feelings about you because they can't trust you. They're not in your wheelhouse. And so a lot of what we actually do in the academic game is set up in terms of a conversation, of competition, in terms of battles, military battles, where you're trying to win the war and trying to actually get to a moment where you're somehow winning. You're at the summit and everybody understands who you are and what you're about. And it's some sort of weird competition for ideas, right? The way that I describe it often, you're gladiators and you're competing with other gladiators where they're trying to squish and squash your particular ideas. So that's one way to view science, where you're viewing it as a competition, where you're thinking about my ideas, my insights are better than everybody else. Your insights are not that good. And so it's my job to tear down your particular insights. And so this is what is actually like often. And you actually have this conversation in your head. I've had to come a long way to developing myself and thinking about who I am as a person. So I no longer view the world in that particular way. Instead, a different way to view it is thinking about it as dialogues, as conversations where you're just having a relaxed conversation where you feel good about yourself and you feel good about other people. And it's your job to build up other people. This is a different conversation. Instead of viewing life, instead of viewing the economy, science, whatever it is, in terms of competition, What if we viewed it as we're just simply here to live our life and to make other people feel good? And I think that's the first lesson that I would like you to take away from this video is your job is not to win a competition. It's not to go into battle and succeed and win and all of that conversation that people have, which I think is a false norm. And frankly, I don't believe in it so much anymore. There's a lot of conversation in my field because it's based on the field of economics. I study business. And there's all this conversation about competition and winning and all this kind of stuff. And frankly, I think it's bogus. I think how we view the world and how we deal with the world really matters. And this is one of the moments where you could just simply say, it's not a competition. There's no battle. That doesn't exist. In fact, maybe the only battle that exists is you against nature, where you are competing against the natural environment. But I don't even think that exists. I think we bumble along. I think we make a lot of mistakes and we don't know what we're doing. And the only thing that we could do is carry on conversations and allow other people to feel a little better about themselves and hopefully allow you to feel a little better about yourself by simply smiling through all of this nonsense. I think about all of the moments where, and this is maybe my second story that I wanted to say, is I think about all of the moments. I remember one moment particularly, I don't know how many years ago this was, where I was feeling really bad about myself, where I had to get up and wrestle through getting up early and getting some exercise. I was just feeling really bad about myself. It was kind of a dark morning. And I kind of was in a moment of funk, which as we do, we get in funks. And I've had to pull back from those moments where it's not about getting up and wrestling with the world and pushing against the world so much as getting up and just being okay with the world as it is. And as you do your thing, you let the natural processes of the world kind of adapt around you. You don't necessarily have to do a lot of stuff where you have to impress upon the world what is going on, the sort of story of leadership that people often say. But maybe you have to wait until the world catches up to you and what you are thinking about. Remember that first story that I was talking about where people just didn't see it. They sort of just kind of walked away and were like, oh, that's nice. It's not going to happen, but that's nice. Right now, where there's millions of people all around the world who kind of get it. And I fully expect that this will be billions of people will get this. Maybe not today, but certainly in many, many years, billions of people will have gotten this and sort of understand it, and they will be on board and they'll want to tell other people. Just by the way, if you haven't done so, go tell other people about the reciprocity project. They will. And at that point, it will be great. But, at this moment, I have to worry about the here and now, and I have to do things that make me feel good, and hopefully other people that are in my neighborhood feel good at this very moment as well. And so I don't have to worry about whether it's going to happen, where it's going to be a billion people. I know that's going to happen. But what I know is how I'm going to feel good right now and internalize this where I feel good. And so I can get up and do this again to make sure that there will be a billion people eventually that will be part of the reciprocity project, and they'll suck you in so you feel good. Because ultimately, I don't think the name of the game is performance the way that we think about it. The name of the game is getting up and wanting to do it again, and getting up and feeling good about yourself every single day. And when you do this, and that's the hard battle. Like winning one thing, winning one test, winning one course, all of that stuff is nonsense. That's not what happens. But it's the fact that you get up and you smile through it, and you want to whistle throughout the day. I mean, that's a beautiful moment. And people want to be around you, and you want to be around other people. I think That is a far superior way to feel than thinking that you have to win all of the time. Nobody's winning the battle anyways. Because you know what? If you win, that means somebody else doesn't. And that's not a good alternative in my view. But if you get up and you whistle, we used to have this guy. So my parents built this house. I remember it. I still remember him. I was like 4. We built a house, a new house. And by the way, my parents saved up and lived in a garage for a long time so that they could build this house. So they got this builder. They called him the ketchup man. And he whistled every day at work. And I think of myself, wouldn't it be great if I was the ketchup man and you were also the ketchup man or woman or whoever you are. We just whistled and enjoyed it and had fun along the way. I think that's it. That is really it. All right. Nobody's winning any battles. Take a step back. When you feel good about yourself every single day, that's when things are actually going to happen in your life and happen in everybody else's life around you. You don't have to convince. There's no battle. There's no competition, any of that kind of stuff. But what you can do is get up and feel good. That's it. All right. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye.